This is Porty's Chop Shop. So this is going to be a little bit of a longer video. If you're not interested in sticking around and seeing the process on everything, then well, hopefully you've already seen it. And if so, then please come along with me while I ruin my truck. This is my 1978 Datsun 620. If you haven't seen the videos of me working on doing the 240SX independent rear suspension swap, please go check them out. A lot so far what you've seen is me working primarily on the back end of the truck, but how about the front end? That's what I'm going to be working on today. So there's a ton of things that I've been waiting to get going on the front end, like the steering rack. The knuckles and the rack had to be modified. The coils, the coil mounts, the front sway bar, the steering column, the exhaust. All of these things are mostly in place, or I have an idea of how I'm going to do them, but without the front subframe permanently mounted, anything that I mount first, I'm just going to have to go back and fix if I need to move the front subframe or something like that. So what I plan to do is I plan to widen the front frame. I've been looking at this front end for a long time, and I think I finally decided that this is the easiest way to do it. Now I'm only going to widen a section of it. There's certain interference pieces that this will solve a lot of problems with, like mounting the front subframe, making clearance for the steering column and exhaust, making clearance for the alternator. So what I'd like to do is match the angle of this right here and then just come out a little bit, enough to clear everything, and then I'll do that. So first step is going to be removing that alternator and stabilizing the engine. Now with the alternator out of the way, I can mark my lines. I'm probably going to follow that one because that was marked for alternator clearance anyways. But like I said, I'm going to match this and then come as far back enough to where I at least can gain myself a little bit of exhaust and steering column clearance. So I'm just going to start cutting stuff. Okay, but seriously, got the frame piece out now. Gonna clean up the edges, move it out 1 inch on front and back, and then tack weld it back in, I guess. All right, so here's the inside of a frame rail. This actually needs a bit of cleanup, and I did some of these welds upside down. This is the only chance I'm ever gonna get to do these repairs not upside down on the truck. So I'm actually going to clean this up a bit and charge my camera for a little. So I'll be back. All right, we got our little frame horn back in here. What I did was I set up a couple of 1 inch spacers, and those are just going to let me know that I've gotten exactly 1 inch out from where it was originally mounted. I'll flush up both of the tops and then just tack it in place, and then I'll start building braces to like smooth the frame back in. So basically the top and bottom are just going to get welded where I cut them, and then I'll build out like a curved kind of base to support. Okay, got both sides done now. This side has been widened an inch as well, so we've gained 2 inches of clearance. Yay. Next thing, gotta pull the engine out and then box all this in and make it look pretty and strong. It's been a really productive first day at this. I got the engine out, I got the frame rails widened. I did make a mistake, and I'll try and show up a visualization of what went wrong. Other than that, it was hugely successful. I got the space I needed and spaced out the rails enough so that I could mount the front subframe a lot easier. So I'm gonna clean up and call it a day and get back at it tomorrow. All right, it's the next day. Thought a lot on it. I was a little upset that I cut that the wrong way, but I'm gonna forge ahead and brace these up so I can be done with widening the frame and move on to trying to do all the things I had listed in the beginning. So let's get to it. So you see I made an angle piece that will be welded all the way around here. So that'll give it the structural support it needs. And then I can make that nice transition piece over the top of that. So. Alright, there's the finished product. Alright. Okay, so I have to call it for this video. I'm actually out of welding gas, so I have no choice but to call it here. The next video will be me assembling and test fitting that front subframe, which will solve a lot of the problems that I've been waiting on. So widening the frame was the first step in getting that front subframe mounted. It's kind of the same process as the rear. I have to get a position for that subframe to mount, and then I can square up that subframe and mount everything, and that way that ensures that the suspension, the steering, and all that stuff is sturdy. So it's taking a while, but this is probably the most important part, making sure I have a good solid structural front end that I can mount all the upcoming stuff to. So I was able to get that one piece done so that you guys could see what it would look like. I'll finish the rest of the 7 off camera. There's no need to film the same thing over and over. But if you made it this far into the video, thank you so much for watching. Subscribe, wherever it is, subscribe. And stay tuned for the front end coming together. And again, thanks for watching.